This week, Chad says goodbye to a couple of his oldest friends with his best friends at his side, as Scott Huntsman and I join him to participate in the 6th annual Classic Car Auction.
Then Reece Stein is back, and this time he's heading to the highest point at the Great Salt Lake as he heads to the Frary Peak Trail on Antelope Island.
Finally, how do you become a backcountry MacGyver or an Indiana Jones? Follow along as we attend a recovery class that is more of a 12-wheel program than a 12-step program. At Your Leisure is next. Okay, Ria, your dream finally come true. We are going to gain 2 garage spaces after today.
I'm so happy. I really want a fence.
Oh. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Ria Rossi Booth. And you know this guy?
I'm Scott Huntsman with dirty hands.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've been working here already. I've been here 10 minutes and I've tuned up 5 cars.
And you really were back there working on
I
some
was,
nice cars.
yes. Oh, that thing is cool.
He is a classic car guy.
Well, he knows
good.
everything. The resto mods, the race cars,
Yep.
The old classics. I mean, I know for a fact because I've got one of the oldest cars here in the auction, actually next to the oldest car in this auction, and it's for sale. And I've got a fairly recent one, and Scott's the guy that makes them the best running 2 cars in this auction.
That's exactly right.
Because you own
That's
them
what they
too.
are.
You own classic.
I do, yep. I've got classic cars too. I mean, it's such a cool vibe here.
Right?
And this is why I have them. I love participating in this kind of thing. Doesn't matter if it's an auction, a show, or what. It's just a good time.
And this is kind of like a car show, except that when you go, oh, I'd really like to have one, well, in a few minutes you can just walk right over to that barn and you can make that happen.
That's right. Just open up your wallet and make it be.
That's right. Sign up.
Make it so.
Throw the sign.
That's right.
Roll the sign. Just keep rolling the sign.
Hey, if you're looking for me, that's where I'm going to be.
That's what worries me, Ria. Anyway, when we talked to Classic Cars US and said, hey, we'd love to come down and do the show, they said, well, great. It's our 6th annual show, and it's pretty big. There are over 100 cars here for sale.
And Thanksgiving Point is the perfect place to do it.
Oh,
yes.
So beautiful.
And the weather is beautiful.
Right?
Oh, 80 degrees. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started and let's find out what it is that we're competing against.
Let's do it.
So this is probably the funnest day out of the entire year, at least for me anyway. We get to play classic cars all day long. We compile classic and collector cars from private individuals who are looking to sell their cars. We put them together in an auction format, attract a great big huge crowd of people to the auction, and we have a live auction of classic and collector cars all day long.
Somebody hand me a wrench immediately. This is my baby right here. If I was born, you know, back in the 40s or the 50s, this would be like my date car. And I would like beg my mom and dad, please let me go out with him. You know, this is amazing vehicle. And you know, they say like bigger is not better. Bigger is better. Check this out. These tires are like, these are very, very daunting. I would like to see this thing out on the rocks, climb. You know, it looks good, but what does it do?
It's just a wonderful opportunity for everybody out there to participate in a classic and collector car and motorcycle auction, whether it's as a buyer or as a seller.
Scott, this is the most unique vehicle I have ever seen as far as a finish goes.
This thing is an absolute work of art, Chad. I mean, I am so impressed with this whole thing because they start out with bare metal, retain all the rust, and then most unique, the torch, take a torch to the metal, discolor it, bringing out the browns, the grays, blue, even purples in there. This thing is a work of art, should be in a museum.
I agree. Does that mean that this here is hardened steel because it's been tempered.
It's been tempered, yeah, exactly. You know, all the surfaces are a little different. That's what's cool about this, is it all flows, it works.
Yeah, no, it does, it's great. Hey, have you seen Ria?
I haven't. The last time I saw Ria, she was over there crawling under a car back over there. You might be in trouble, man. She was looking awful interested.
Okay, well, all right, let's find her. We're gonna go try and track down Ria. Right now it's time for you to go to this week's Where To.
Let's go this way.
All right. Ria.
I'm Reece Stein, at your leisure on Antelope Island on the Frary Peak Trail, headed to the highest point anywhere on the Great Salt Lake.
A meadowlark greets us as we start up the trail to Frary Peak. Since it opened 22 years ago, this trail has become one of the favorites on Antelope Island State Park, and right now it is a kaleidoscope of reds and yellows. Never seen so many Indian paintbrush as along this first ridge.
This is a beautiful, beautiful place, and it's as green as it's going to get. Wildflowers are gorgeous. Those yellow sunflower/daisies, whatever they are beautiful on the sides of the hills. And there's purple ones and white ones and pink ones. So
Indian paintbrush everywhere.
Indian paintbrush everywhere. It's beautiful.
But along with the flowers comes something not nearly as nice.
A little buggy today, as you might be able to see. I can't tell.
Yeah, kind of.
Usually these things don't bother me, but today it's pretty intense.
We're a little better prepared with mesh face masks, long pants and sleeves, and a gentle breeze keeps the island's infamous no-see-ums away. The trail cuts through some of the oldest rocks on the planet. Some are 2.7 billion years old, older than the rocks at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. After a fairly gentle 3-mile climb, the trail tops out at an antenna array. The peak now seems within easy reach, but the last half mile is anything but easy. After traversing across a steep side hill, the trail turns straight up. The summit is just shy of 6,600 feet, a total elevation gain of 2,300 feet.
You made it.
Yes. I made it.
A friendly local resident welcomes us to the summit. From here, the island and the Great Salt Lake stretch out in all directions.
But I'll tell you what, when you get up here, it's fantastic. The 360-degree view of this lake, and on a day like this when the water is so blue and you got the blue sky, we've got just enough of a breeze that the bugs aren't bad. We were really concerned about the no-see-ums up here eating us alive, and we haven't had any problems at all.
It's the best view you'll ever get of a 360 panorama of this valley. It's amazing, of the Salt Lake and the mountains. So I'm glad we did it. Now I just hope we can get down.
There's no shade on this hike. Start early, carry water, and midsummer may be a bit of a challenge. It took us 3 hours up and 2 down. Near the bottom, we run into Fred Svar perfecting his talents.
The wind is blowing, and so consequently the watercolors dry fairly quickly. So, you know, but it's fine. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous place. It's something very special.
The island has incredible history dating back to Kit Carson in 1845, the first ranch in 1848, and total acquisition by Utah State Parks in 1981. It's a wild and scenic treasure less than an hour's drive from downtown Salt Lake City. And this hike is just one of its many highlights.
This is just a neat place to be. It's a great island, and to come to the top of it is even better.
Reece Stein with this week's Where To adventure on Frary Peak.
Dear Diary, we went camping for our vacation on Tusher Lake. We did so many fun things. I learned something on this trip. Camping on Tusher Lake is way more fun than any old mouse in an amusement park.
Hi, I'm Nolan Stedman.
And I'm Bruce Stedman.
We have been selling motorcycles like this since 1960.
Motorcycle has been part of our family forever.
We love riding and enjoying the outdoors, everything that Utah has to offer.
Riding motorcycles, snowmobiles, ATVs, and now side-by-sides. That's what we do, it's who we are.
Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. We've been proudly serving Utah's families for over 50 years.
Stedman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out there, but remember, it's only 30 back.
Where in the world is Joseph? Oh, you know, it's the place that has the best burgers in Sevier County. A campground where you can ride straight to the Paiute Trail from town. OHV access to Fremont State Indian Park. Are you serious? You've never stopped in Joseph? You are missing out.
The Old West is still alive in Juab County. Stories of the past are hidden in the desert mountains. From relics of mining history to places of outlaw mystery, tall tales to be discovered, and buried treasure to be uncovered. Juab, the key county of Utah.
TuneX is proud to present this how-to safety tip brought to you by the Utah ATV Association.
Hi, I'm Steve with the Utah ATV Association. These are the essentials that we recommend everybody carry with them on their ATV or the UTV when we're out on our adventures. It's rain gear. You never know when you're out on the mountain you're going to come into a rainstorm. A tire repair kit and a 12-volt compressor. Small first aid kit is everybody should be carrying one of these in their machine. Emergency blankets, again, lightweight, easy to pack. In case you end up having to spend a night out on the mountain, this may save your life. Extra pair of dry gloves, warm, I recommend winter type gloves. A spot rescue beacon or a Garmin inReach. A lot of times when we're out riding, we're out of cell phone range. If there's an accident, somebody's seriously hurt, this will get help to you a lot faster. A GPS and a paper map of the area where you are riding. Basic tool kits, ratchet, cordless impact drivers, sockets and wrenches, 12-volt jumper pack or a set of jumper cables. It's essential that you have that. A small hatchet or saw, tow strap. If your machine breaks down, you can't repair it, you'll be able to get towed back to camp. Carry a spare belt with you. Take lots and lots of water with you, more than you think you're gonna need. Sunscreen, bug spray. On my machine, I have a shovel, also extra fuel, also a miscellaneous assortment of nuts and bolts for your machine. For a list of all of these essentials, you can go to our Facebook page into the files section, look for the ATV pack list. It's downloadable as a PDF file. Thank you for joining us today. Hope to see you out on the mountain.
Hey babe, I'll be right back.
Is he all right?
I don't know. He only does this when we come to Jorgensen's.
Oh, there's a lot of beautiful country. The white ledges you can see behind us are always beautiful, and we've run into some red ledges also. Every weekend in Kanab, when the weather's decent, we're loaded with ATVs and UTVs and everything to go out. It's a lot better if you go with a guide. These guides know what's there to see. If you just come out on your own, you're going to miss a lot of stuff.
When
we go on vacation, I never ask, are we there yet? Because my daddy makes sure each stop we make is at Eagle's Landing. They have such cool things for kids, like a petting zoo. They have the cleanest bathrooms on Earth, and Daddy doesn't freak out pulling up to the pumps, because they're really big and he says it's the best gas in the world. And you can get your tire fixed, like we had to. Oh, and their food is so yummy. Eagle's Landing is so much fun, I don't care if we ever get there.
Now there's a familiar face. Welcome back to At Your Leisure.
You know, speaking of familiar faces, where's Ria? I haven't seen her.
Don't know. I'm getting a little bit worried.
Yeah, you might be in trouble with something else later, you know. I guess we'll have to see, but...
That's what I'm worried about.
Talking about this, though, 7 grill slots. I mean, we know what we're talking about here. We got a CJ of some kind, but this is a Scrambler. And it is absolutely pristine, but what they gave the Scrambler was an extended length rear bed, almost like a pickup in a way. And so that was very popular, except to the rock crawlers. We didn't like that tail dragging when we'd start up that steep hill, you know, but hey, the long wheelbase Jeep obviously proved to be the times of the future, because that's what we deal with right now. But this was a good stepping stone towards that. And this thing is just like brand new. I mean, this thing is just pristine.
Little tidbit. Well, Ronald Reagan had one of these down on his ranch.
There you go. And I was a Reagan guy.
So, yeah, me too. So let's find out a little bit more about this auction, because this really is the everyman's auction.
Let's do it.
Cars come in all shapes and sizes and qualities and values and conditions and everything else. So what gets written about are the cars on the very extreme, the very one of a kind, only kind of ever produced, and that does go for big, huge dollars. The reality is most of the cars, classic and collector cars, are affordable for just about anybody who has an interest in them.
Oh my gosh, this is the baby right here, 1968 Camaro. This is my car. Okay, I have to ask my husband, honey, please, we need to sell the house, sell the business, and we're gonna live in our car. And this is gonna be the car we're gonna live in, because I love it. Woo-hoo! I got it! Woohoo!
So we're based out of Billings, Montana. We started classic car auctions about 10 years ago. Salt Lake looked like a wonderful opportunity. We 6 years ago, came down in our little road show and had a wonderful auction, and now we're at our 6th annual. Last year was an online only auction because of the pandemic, but this year we're back live. The 7th annual will be yet bigger and bigger and bigger.
Can you imagine being married to an auctioneer and you're like, hey honey, what do you want for dinner? And he's like talking that fast and you're like, okay, coming right up.
See, this is one of those perfect examples that Craig was talking about. This is like a piece of affordable artwork.
This thing is just cool. You know, for an 85 model Defender, Rhino line grill, trim work, it's got long arm, coil springs. I mean, this is a great vehicle because this thing is already prepared like for our type of jeeping, rock crawling.
Yeah, but you know, if you had one that looked this nice, you certainly wouldn't want to take it on the rock.
I would be a little nervous taking this one because this one is awfully shiny right here. There's no scratch in it.
If I bought it, I would just go right out. As soon as I got it home, I'd take a can opener, just go down the side, and then I could enjoy it. You know?
Okay. Well, you go ahead and do that. I think I'd leave it in its good-looking position the way it is right now. But you know, I got to try it out anyway. But Chad, you know, hey, I don't scratch mine when I'm on the trail.
Yeah, that's what he says. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, right now it's time for us to leave our tour here at the Classic Car Auctions.us car show and auction down here in Thanksgiving Point, and we're off to our Along the Way.
Darn it, I got it stuck. How did I not see that giant hole right there? I hope this guy will help me.
These are words that everyone in the off-road world has said at least once or twice. You can high center your vehicle, spin tires into sand, or just simply break down. No matter how you get yourself stuck, the most important thing is to get unstuck. And if you don't know how to, you should at least know that there's a class for that. Years in the recovery business have taught Joel Gurman the best and safest ways to get out of a pinch, and now he's paying it forward.
We start with the basics. You have to build your toolbox to be efficient. So today we're gonna do some stuck assessments. We're gonna play with traction boards, high lift jacks. We're gonna play with our recovery calculations. So we're actually gonna learn some math today, which is where we're gonna get our grumbles. We'll start looking how to hook up to a vehicle properly, different attachment points. And then we are gonna do some winching. From there, we'll start to play with pulley blocks. And then towards the end of the day, we're gonna finish the class with our pendulum maneuver.
With so much to learn, it's a good thing this training is more of an activity than a lecture. Everyone gets educated on the do's and the don'ts of a good recovery.
Bad things can happen at any time. It's all about being prepared. You can have all these tools, but if you don't know how to use them, what's the point? So everyone's gonna be hands-on. We're gonna get in, we're gonna be digging traction boards underneath the tires. Everybody's gonna use the high lift jack, and everybody's getting an opportunity to play with all the equipment that we have on scene. We also wanna be safe. Safety is key. There's so many accidents every year with people trying to do different recoveries. The goal is to keep everybody safe.
This class was hosted by Lone Peak Four-Wheelers and sponsored by their friends at Clegg Auto. And this club is certain it's in everyone's best interest to know how to use their tools.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are new in our club that have never been out in situations, in tackling harder obstacles. Everybody will have a general idea of what we need to do and to carry the recovery gear that everybody should have in their Jeep anyway, whether they're with the club or off on their own.
Even our very own At Your Leisure producer, Derek Dowsett, has been in a pickle or two while behind the wheel. And he says this training will help him driving forward.
I just was following the spotter and he kept me climbing on this side until all four tires were off the ground. And all I remember is it took 3 samurais to pull it out. But I think this class gives you the ability to really think through and know, okay, here's what I need to get out so somebody doesn't get hurt and you don't break something. You know, you don't get into bigger trouble than you started out with.
Learning all of these basic skills is every driver's responsibility. And Joel will make sure you leave his classroom prepared.
So currently our best way to get a hold of me is through our Facebook page, which is Legacy Off-Road Recovery Training. Eventually I will set up a website, but for right now, the Facebook page is the best way to get a hold of me.
We hope you can use his knowledge to help someone who's stuck somewhere along the way. For At Your Leisure, I'm Nick Chase.
Tickaboo stands alone in the desert, an oasis to those who seek adventure. Ride straight from the parking lot to the open desert. When I say open, I mean wide open. Visit outsiders.zone for 360-degree trail tours, or tickaboo.com to book your next adventure.
Safety tips with Steve.
Today we want to talk about how to safely load and unload your ATV out of the back of a pickup truck. First thing you want to do is get your ramps anchored to the pickup truck. Make sure the ramp is safely secured. Put your helmet on and steady on the throttle as you load into the back.
Safety tips with Steve.
It's time to get out and ride. During the Yamaha Get Out and Ride sales event, with as low as 2.99 APR for 36 months on every single Yamaha motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side. Plus, amazing customer cash offers. See your local Yamaha dealer for huge savings. Then, get out and ride.
Get your new Yamaha at Stedman's Recreation. Ride hard, play hard. Stedmans.net.
System overload. Seek nature. Seek adventure. Paiute County, the perfect place to unplug. OHV is the only way. See for yourself at outsiders.zone.
You know, Scott, this is right where we started the show. You were under the hood of this thing.
I was doing a little tune-up on this thing, you know, so I'm real close with this Ford. Now, this 36.3 window, some would almost think that it's black, but, you know, it's really got kind of a blue tint into it. I'm hoping the light kind of shows that up there. Beautiful Mustang 2 front end, Corvette rear end, and best of all, Chevy V8 under the hood. We're mixing it up. This is like a drag race today.
Huntsman sees all the parts. All I see is a good-looking 36 Ford. You know, that's just the way it is. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun being down here at the ClassicCarAuction.us 6th annual auction. There's still a lot of stuff going. We got to get back in there because
let's do that.
I've got a car coming up right away, and there might be another one that I'm interested in. But right now, there's business to do next week's show.
Next week, Kevin and Gina are showing off the latest of the 50 trails in 50 weeks as they journey from the town of Joseph to Fremont Indian State Park.
Then we get to join an exhilarating whitewater rapid adventure as we get a once-in-a-lifetime look at what it takes to run with the rivers.
Finally, we are headed to Mesquite to soak up some sun and join in the fun as our friends from Eagles Landing are hosting a charity golf tournament to benefit first responders.
Well, Scott, next week's show looks great.
Yeah, you know, when does it not?
They're all
good. They're all good.
Wow.
What do you think, honey?
I have to admit, of all 100 cars here, I think this is the most unique one.
I love this one. Are you kidding? An Auto Union, the precursor to the Audi.
I thought so because it had the little 4 rings on the front grille.
Yeah, well, you love it so much because happy birthday, honey. We just got this baby.
Well, I thought you wanted the garage empty.
Well, this is small enough we can park in the driveway.
That's why you got rid of the other 2.
Well, I didn't think that was the plan originally, but is that all you bought?
No, we'll talk about that later.
I'm not saying a word. My lips are sealed.
Yeah.
Well, listen, whatever we're going home with out of this auction that we thought we were leaving, we want to thank the Classic Autos US auction, the Classic Auto Auctions US, I got that right, for letting us come down and film here today and letting me get rid of my cars so that we can fill them with new cars.
You were so impressed with these cars. And as a mechanic, you loved them.
Well, I told you which ones to get.
Yes, I know. Okay. Listen to this guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was saying, like, you're seeing the outside. I was so impressed with how beautiful they look, but then you know the interior. You know what's under the hood.
They are just as beautiful on the inside.
I would imagine that they are. And remember, there's adventure around every bend.
You just got to get out there and create your own adventure.
At your leisure.
All right, Ria, show me what you've done.
It's right here, honey.